So you might find yourself asking yourself, where do I begin? Hopefully, this video will help answer that question. First, if you are part of a bilingual or multilingual parish, diocese, or community, you're going to want to figure out what language you feel most comfortable teaching in. Now, this may not necessarily be your primary language. For example, my primary language is Spanish. I can speak Spanish, read Spanish, and write in Spanish. However, I feel most comfortable teaching in English. Then, unless you're being asked to teach a particular grade level or age range, you're going to want to think about what grade level or age range you are most comfortable teaching. Do you feel more comfortable sharing your faith with and teaching children, teenagers, or adults? If you're thinking children, what more specific age range or grade are you thinking about? I've opted for the brand new babies, which in our parish is the youngest class, first and second graders, or 6 and 7-year-olds. Also keep in mind that each group is unique. In elementary students, you're going to see a lot of special education, a lot of ADD, ADHD, and a lot of autism. Now, in school, children who fall under the special education umbrella, which usually include children with ADD, ADHD, and autism, they are usually placed in a separate special education classroom. However, while there are some parishes that can afford to do the same because they have enough catechists to do so, some parishes cannot. And for example, in my parish, all children are together in the same classroom. I will have a video about special education students and what I've learned along the way, and that should be up soon. Middle school. Some children at this age, believe it or not, are already starting to experiment sexually, so please be prepared for questions. It kind of pains me to know that there are adults who are still very naive to the thought that these things are happening. Unfortunately, they walk into a huge disappointment, not only to themselves, but to their students as well, when the students begin to feel comfortable with this person who's here to share their faith and talk to them about this wonderful God we have, but is unwilling to have certain conversations with us because we should be having them with our parents. Sometimes these children don't have parents, at least not in the customary sense, that they feel comfortable enough to talk to. Be proud that they are comfortable enough to want to talk to you about it. High schoolers. This pleasant group of teenagers may not be the ones walking through your door. It might look a little more like this. And I also want to prepare you because she might walk into your classroom. Just saying. But anyways, let's get back to this group of teens. While teens aren't necessarily my first choice when it comes to who I'm going to teach, these devices that seem to be permanently attached to them is the least of my worries. There are so many ways you can incorporate that device into your lessons. It's incredible. Do not be afraid. We'll talk about what you can do with these permanently attached devices real soon. Adults. Adults are an interesting group to work with. I actually like working with adults. They come with these predisposed ideas, thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. Hopefully, you'll end up working through many of those predisposed ideas and beliefs, especially if they're shaded or if they're incorrect. The adults you may encounter in class may not always have been Catholic. Some might have questions about other religions and their belief systems and might perhaps even want to compare those to the Catholic Church. One quick tip that will help you out, regardless of the level or age you teach, is to never fake it. If you don't know an answer, tell the students in front of you that you're not entirely sure, but that you will find an answer. The people sitting in front of you, whether they're 6 years old or 60 years old, they're going to be able to tell if you're trying to just come up with an answer just to appease them. Tell them the truth. Yeah, as humiliating as it may be to realize that you don't know it all, go ahead and tell them the truth. How many years are required in your religious education program? What year are you interested in teaching? In my parish, we have 2 years. The first year being more like an introduction to the Catholic Church and the Catholic faith, and the second year is more focused on the Eucharist and prayers. Once those decisions have been made, you're going to want to know what the class meeting schedule is like. In fact, this might even be more important than even picking a language, because if your parish's CCD program is is run on Monday evenings. Class is an hour and a half, plus at least 15 minutes for setup and another 10-15 minutes for cleanup or takedown, along with gathering your things and leaving. So let's say 2 hours. And you work full time in the evenings. It might not even be possible for you to teach CCD, at least not in your parish. So what's the class schedule like? What day of the week will you be teaching? What time and how long is class? Where will you be teaching? Will you be in a classroom, in an auditorium, inside the church, in the church hall? And why is this even important? For setup, you're going to want to make sure that your setup, regardless of what your space is welcoming and comfortable. Depending on your space, you can have name tags, you can have posters, music, a prayer table or area, and lesson props. You don't have to be extremely fancy. You can even check out some of my CCD Saturday videos where I show my setup every Saturday. Sometimes I have a whole getup out with folders, crayons, coloring, activity sheets, projects, you name it. And sometimes I have nothing out at all. Maybe because we're going to watch a video in class that day, or maybe because I need their full attention for the beginning of class. And if that's the case, I then have some of my babies help me pass stuff out along the way. The next highly anticipated question is, what supplies or materials will I need? Well, for starters, I'll tell you that your church or diocese should be providing you with your foundation, your curriculum, meaning the student textbook and the catechist guide. Some parishes might give you a whole set with CDs and DVDs and special prayer books and who knows what else. But what you truly need is that foundation, the textbooks. Everything else, I've spent almost 20 years so far figuring out. But you'll have to join me in my next video to see my magic bag of tricks, what I bring to class every Saturday, and all the goodies that I will not leave home without. So, thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!